Hi everyone, good morning from Madrid, Spain. My name is Jessica and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are headed to a beautiful city called Segovia. It's about 30 minutes from Madrid on the high-speed train, and I've been before, but I am so excited to be back. Segovia is actually the town that inspired Walt Disney's first full-length animated movie, Snow White. And today we are going to go inside that iconic castle. Stay tuned as I bring you along with me to Segovia. This is my closest metro station. Here in Madrid, most people take public transportation like the metro. It comes very regularly. I don't think I've ever waited more than 8 minutes for the metro. After getting off the metro, I look for signs that take me to the suburban railway. It's a quick two-stop train which will drop me off at one of Madrid's main transport hubs. From here, I will follow the signs that say high-speed train. Right before you are there, you will look at the screen for your platform number and your train. If you are under 26 years old like me, you can pay €10 and use any public transportation within the community of Madrid for a whole month. So I've made it with about 5 minutes to spare. Come with time because it's not as close as you think, especially if this is your first time. It could be a little bit confusing. I only allowed myself to come this late because I've already been through this before, so I kind of know what I'm doing. When you arrive, you have to take a bus or a taxi to the city center. We took a bus, it was about 15 minutes long, and it cost €2.50. One of the first things you see when you enter the city center is the Roman aqueduct. This aqueduct was built nearly 2,000 years ago, around the 1st century AD. It stretches over 15 kilometers or 9 miles. This aqueduct delivered fresh water to the city. It is one of the best preserved Roman monuments in all of Spain. Now we're at Plaza de Medina del Campo and the Church of San Martin, which was once the center of medieval life here, especially for markets and public events. We are on our way to the castle, of course, and we are so excited. We took a different route than most, going through some green areas and parks instead of the narrow streets. We are currently on Calle del Socorro right now and get this beautiful view of the cathedral. We stopped here to take some pictures. I would say this is a bit of a hidden gem, so remember Calle del Socorro if you want a scenic route. Now here's a very exciting part where we started to see bits of the castle from our walk. This is just going straight from where we last were. This castle is so impressive even from a distance, and here you can see how tall it stands. So I am outside the famous Alcazar in Segovia. This is the castle that actually inspired Walt Disney's Snow White. The Snow White live action cast is actually here for a press event. It's beautiful and I'm going to take you with me inside. If you've seen pictures of this castle, perhaps you haven't seen this angle. Normally you see pictures from the bottom displaying the other side, but when you enter, this is the side you enter on. My ticket was €8 for student price, and this includes a trip to the tower. Right now we are walking through the Hall of the Coat of Arms. Here you will see shields of all the medieval Spanish kingdoms up on the walls. And after that, we are passing through this open courtyard, also called the Patio de Armas. This was the heart of the castle where soldiers trained and everyone gathered. To the right of the courtyard is one of the armories inside the castle. You got full suits of armor lining the walls, not just for knights, but even their horses. Some of the armor is from the 16th century and it's surprisingly detailed. You can see the engravings and craftsmanship up close. This next room looks like a medieval dining hall. There is a long wooden table and the walls were decorated with paintings of fruit, food, and leaders. Now we're stepping into the throne room. We have two carved wooden chairs, and behind them a large royal seal. This is where the king might have received visitors, settled disputes, and more. This is the Hall of the Galley, and look at its ceiling. It's shaped like the inside of an upside-down ship, which is actually where the room gets its name. You got stained glass window letting in soft, colorful light, and pieces of armor around the room to remind you this was a place of both elegance and power. And the views from here, absolutely next level. This room was built to show off, and it still does. Now leaving this hall, we are back where we started at the armory room. Here's another look at some of the pieces of armor, including the horse armor. And this video is my friend trying to lift this up to see how heavy it was. You are definitely not supposed to do that. This is the royal bedroom where the monarch slept. It might look small, but the details make it very elegant. This is the Hall of Kings, one of the most iconic rooms in the Alcázar. It's named after a long row of painted statues above. Those are 52 medieval kings of Castile, all carved and painted in the 16th century. The idea was to showcase the royal lineage and legitimize the power of the monarchy, basically a visual history of who ruled before. The Alcázar was built on a cliff. It sits high above the rivers below, giving you a beautiful view of Segovia and the valley. This elevation wasn't just for scenery, though. It made the castle easier to defend and harder to attack. From here, you can see threats from miles away. Today, we get the views, but back then it was about strategy and survival. This is the Royal Chapel, a small but significant space within the Alcázar. It was used by the monarchs and courts for private worship without needing to leave the fortress. The design is relatively modest, with Gothic and Renaissance elements in the architecture. The altarpiece features religious imagery common in the late medieval Spain. A fun fact is that unlike many castles in Spain that have Islamic origins, the Alcázar of Segovia was built entirely after the Christian reconquest, so the chapel has always been Christian. Even in a military fortress, faith played an essential role in daily life. Outside the main halls, the courtyard and surrounding grounds offer a quieter side of the castle. Here you will find beautiful views and a small well, which is a reminder of how important fresh water was for life inside a fortified castle. You could get a clear view of the main tower, which is an additional purchase on your ticket. And of course, you also get to see the well-kept gardens from above. These were originally used for beauty and practical purposes like growing herbs and supplying the royal households. Now we're entering this building off the courtyard, which feels almost like its own military exhibit. Inside, you'll find a striking collection of armor, swords, and weapons such as daggers and polearms. You'll also see some cannons, showing how the castle adapted over time as gunpowder changed the face of defense. Flags and banners hang here too, bearing seals and emblems of noble families and royal orders tied to the castle's story. So we came back downstairs to the courtyard where we started. We took a couple pictures here because look at this incredible view. This tower is where we are about to go up. If you buy a ticket to the tower, you have to meet in the courtyard. Since we were there before our scheduled time, we decided to check out the museum level. Here you'll find historical documents, maps, artifacts related to military, political, and architectural evolution of the fortress. This museum ties everything together, and if you are interested, I definitely suggest not leaving without checking out this museum. It is right before the gift shop. Soon after, it was our turn to go up the tower, and I'm very excited because last time I came, I did not have the chance to do this. I will say, this is not for everyone. We will be climbing 152 stone steps, which means they are steep, narrow, sometimes spiral, and definitely not the easiest task. However, if you've done other climbs like the dome in St. Peter's Basilica or the Eiffel Tower, this is nothing. If you've done those, please do this one too. It will not feel bad at all. And 152 steps later, we are at the tallest point of the castle overlooking Segovia. Coming up is a view that you recognize, but I never get tired of, one of Segovia's most iconic landmarks, the cathedral, also known as Lady of Cathedrals for its size and elegance. It's one of the last Gothic cathedrals ever built in Europe. Construction started in 1525, right as the Gothic style was fading and the Renaissance style was on the rise. And it's not just beautiful views of the city, I also really enjoyed this view of the castle that we get from the tower because it's so unique. After coming back down from the tower, we wanted to enjoy one last lap around the lower level. Being in this castle, you absolutely understand why it was the inspiration to the first Walt Disney movie. Its dramatic silhouette, its pointy tower, its charm, and the magic that you feel while being here. In 2023, Disney included it in its Disney 100 The Landmark list, confirming it as one of the 30 global sites inspiring their films. In March of 2025, Disney filmed a music video at this castle featuring Rachel Zegler performing Waiting on a Wish. In iconic rooms such as the Hall of Kings, the galley, and the balcony, all of which are featured in this video. If you find yourself in Madrid, Spain, I definitely recommend a day trip to Segovia. A lot of people are between Segovia and Toledo for a day trip, but honestly, Segovia is my favorite. Especially if you are a Disney fan, then it's an obvious option where to go. Segovia is a city built on a hill, so when you are coming back, you want to go down the hill and catch a bus back to the train station where you started. About 30 minutes later, we made it back to Madrid. Welcome back to Madrid. Thank you so much, friends, for coming along with me to Segovia, Spain. If you liked the video, please consider giving me a like and subscribing to my channel. I'll see you next time for another fun video. Thank you.